Roy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Come on, everybody, gather in. Don't want y'all to miss a minute of this. Thank you, RJ. At least I have one fan. How's everybody doing this morning? Who wants to do a team meeting? Jason, leave me off, buddy. Who wants to do a team meeting? Yeah! There you go. I like it, guys. Well, first of all, good morning. Hope everybody's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I have a guest speaker here, Robert Atkinson. Hope I pronounced that right. With MMC, he's a safety manager. He's going to talk to you a little bit about confined spaces, and he has a personal story for you. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for coming here this morning and listening to what I've got to say. I'll be brief about it, but the story is near and dear to my heart. But first, let me talk about a little background stuff about what a confined space is, because that's what the story is going to be about. And just so you guys can understand what a confined space is, it has to have three things to be a confined space. It has to be large enough for you to enter into. It has to be not designed for human occupancy, and it has to have limited means of access and egress. Okay, so large enough for you to enter, that means you got to get your entire body into that space. Okay, not just part of your body, your entire body. And it's not designed for human occupancy, meaning that the final product that's supposed to be in that space is not a human being. So whether it's a liquid, a gas, a solid, whatever that is. And then limited means of access or egress means if you got to crawl to get into it, if you got to climb a ladder to get into it, it's going to make a confined space. So those three things have to be met to make it a confined space. And so you guys understand, sometimes we don't need to get in confined spaces. Sometimes we can do the work outside the space and drop the work down in, such as like doing an agitator inside of a tank, or assembling the pipe outside of the trench and then lowering the whole pipe in there and just making the connections on the ends. So before you just get in your mind that you got to go into a confined space, think about, number one, can we get the work done without going into the confined space? And then secondly, if we got to go in, well, let's make sure that it's safe to go in before we go in. Let's monitor the air. Let's check that air, make sure that we can actually survive down in that space. And that's where I'm going with this story. So 5 years ago when I started with MMC, we were doing a project at a wastewater treatment plant, an existing one. We were expanding it. And there was two guys that were working in this wastewater basin, which is like a large above ground pool, if you would, but you ain't gonna go swimming in it. Okay, this is where all the waste gets processed and distributed through the channels. So they're down there working on the gate valve, and they're not feeling too good, and they call me and said, hey, can you come down here? We're not sure everything is right down here. And so we're walking towards this, and we're walking up on top, and I said, where you got to go to work? And they said, well, down through this manhole, and then we're going to do work on those gate valves. I said, well, hold on a minute. I said, you realize this is a confined space? And they go, well, no, it's an open top. We can see the sky. And so I stopped and I went right through that stuff and go, guys, can you get your whole body into it? What's your access? You got to go down a ladder. Okay, is it designed for human occupancy? No. The final product is wastewater in there. So we started setting up the parameters. So we set up the tripod. We started monitoring the air. A couple days later, I get a phone call from them. They said, Rob, I want to thank you for setting us straight, make sure that we're alive. I said, what are you talking? What happened down there? He said, well, our guy was down there and we're monitoring the air, and the carbon monoxide and methane gas levels kept on rising on the monitor. He says, I kept on watching the chart and I was calling out the numbers as it was rising. I told him to get out, and it kept on rising. I said, what did final go to? And he said, 7 times the normal limit. Well, he would have already passed out, fell asleep, and would have been dead before it even got to that limit. So we could have lost 2 employees, that day, had we not set up the right protection for them and monitoring the air and doing the right thing. So, guys, it can happen that quickly. And receiving that phone call was a huge, validation for me. The training and making sure that we have the right tools and equipment is absolutely vital to making sure that we survive out there. Because, guys, as I look around, okay, you guys are the intellectual knowledge of your companies. When you talk about the value of your company, okay, it's all these individuals here that make up the value of the company. You can talk about that, your assets, the buildings and the equipment stuff. You know what? That can all be replaced, but you cannot be replaced. So if you have any question whatsoever, you have any doubt, that little inkling inside your gut saying, is this right? This don't feel right. Ask a question. Okay? the companies will find the answers for you. Okay, they will get people like me out there that know about confined spaces or whatever the challenge is. But ask the question. Don't just go through and power through because you think you've got to. Ask the question. Get the information. Guys, thank you so much for listening to me today. If you have any questions, I'll be around here at the site all day. I'm happy to assist anywhere I can. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to do a real quick update before I turn it over to Christina. Guys, everybody please be aware that Bravo, so this is McLennan Banks, but it also right at the ART loading dock here, it turns into Bravo. This road here, it runs all the way down to B Street. Is everybody familiar with that? And if you got any questions, you can come after this meeting and ask me. But starting on Monday for about 30 days from B Street all the way up, we believe, to this ART loading dock, this road's going to be closed for some work that the VA is doing on their hospital over there. So just please be aware of that.
Jacob.
Yes, sir.
Scope confirmed is from the road on the north side of ARC to B Street. It's not closing off the loading dock area.
Okay, so it's just...
You can't go out and turn on that road north of ARC.
Okay, so you can go on the road. I just got informed that it's not all the way to the ART loading dock. It'll start short of that road that's just to the other side of the ART building here. So you will be able to turn on that and come up by the loading dock and come here to the... Thank you, Grady. I appreciate it. But just please be aware of that so you cannot turn on B Street and get to the project, essentially. Correct? All right, thank you. All right, continuing on the update. Still starting to head towards completion on the DNT, which is a major milestone. So we appreciate all the help from Stillfab and Buckner. Thank you, guys. Give yourself a round of applause real quick. All right, you should. Every time I come by here on a Saturday or Sunday, I see everybody out here with the ironworkers, and that's something to be very commended, and we appreciate it. It doesn't go unrecognized. As well as we're heading towards our first pour on the tower next week, or this week, I believe. I apologize. This week, towards the end of this week, which is another major milestone. So thank you again for that. Build out continues on, and as well as we're continuing on in exterior skin. So all you guys are part of that. Thank you. All right, and every week I talk about PPC, and I'd just like to give a quick explanation of that. So high-performing teams perform at 75% of their commitments for the week. All right, so every time that we go over that, we're a high-performing team. We meet our expectations, we ring this bell. So again, for this week, because of you guys, nothing that I did, nothing any of these superintendents did, but for the guys out here putting the work in the field, we've done 82% of our commitments. So again, teamwork, we're a high-performing team, so I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Really do. Go ahead and turn it over to Christina.
All right, good morning, everybody. All right, I just have a quick reminder about our waste bins over there. First of all, y'all have been doing really good with helping us, separate the waste on the job site. We're going to get some new signs so they stick onto the waste bins a little bit better. But just a reminder, we've got concrete waste, metal waste, and general waste, and then food waste. So if y'all can help us out with all bags of trash and food to go into the food waste bin. Just a small, short explanation. For instance, the concrete waste bin, if that, that goes straight from here to where they recycle the concrete. If there's anything in that bin, even if it's, a bottle or, a piece of trash, they're going to immediately just send it to the landfill. So that's why we're so particular about it. So if you can help us out with that, and Christiana's got a fun fact.
Okay, so we're going to continue talking about energy this week. Because the United States uses 23% of the world's energy, even though it only has 5% of the population. And one easy way to save energy is to go check your thermostat and see if you have lamps or TVs near your thermostat, because it can sense the heat from them and it will overrun your air conditioning, which will cost you energy and money. So go check your thermostat. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Bill.
All right, guys. Hey, we want to talk about a subject I'm going to have Carlos help me with here in a second, but we did get 3 suggestions last week that should be pretty easy to implement. Well 2 of them are. We're asking for a hand washing area by the outhouses, and I'm sure it's not by the flush toilets here, so I'm assuming it's by some porta-johns we have out there. So we're going to figure that out. Should be easy enough. And then on our shark walks or our safety walks, we need to get a representative from each trade contractor with them, and we'll talk about that in the superintendent meeting. We should be able to make that happen. That should be relatively easy. The last one is a little more difficult, is just said Spanish classes. So any of y'all that have not learned a second language, it's a lot easier said than done. So I'm open for suggestions. We've tried this for years. If we can bridge that gap, we could change this industry. I don't know how to do that yet. And some of us have that side of the brain that we can learn a second language easy, and some of us don't. So it is a challenge. If any of y'all have any ideas, please get with me and how we can bridge that language gap. So all right, so really my topic I wanted to talk about today, some of y'all may be aware we've had some questions on our prevailing wage. Some of y'all may not know what prevailing wage is. Prevailing wages comes from the Davis-Bacon Act, which I think dates back to the 1930s, and it's the goal of it is to try to get everybody's wages so everybody's getting paid a fair wage. Many will argue it's way out of date. Most will argue that the wages themselves aren't accurate, high or low. They're not very accurate, but it is what it is. Any project that has federal participation is required to meet the Davis-Bacon Act, which is the prevailing wage. So here we are required to meet that rate, and we are meeting that. That does not mean there hasn't been mistakes made, but we've done several of these projects. They're all certified payroll, and I want everybody in here to be really clear that while mistakes can be made through the payroll offices, it cannot get through the project without a certified payroll and being verified that people are being paid correctly. However, with that said, as simple as it seems, and I have, after this meeting, I have all the prevailing wages rates here. They're posted in our break area. But happy to get with you and help explain it. As simple as it seems, every project, without exception, there's confusion. And when the confusion comes up, people start wondering if we're getting paid correctly. I'm here to tell you we're committed and we're responsible to make sure you're being paid correctly, and you will be paid correctly. If you do not think that's the case, please get with me. I think Steve Wiley's number is posted on the sheet there. You can call him in confidence. I just want to assure everybody out here that you're going to be paid correctly. That's the only, if there is any pay that's incorrect, it's only been by mistake. And there are very few exceptions. So I want to make sure everybody understands that this is a relatively simple process. I've got the guidelines up here as well. We can share that with you and just make sure everybody's comfortable we are getting paid the right wage. So I'm going to let Carlos help me out for helping interpret that in Spanish.
Buenos días. Él quiere hablar del salario prevalecente. Quiere decir que cuando un trabajo como este, de esta gran magnitud, está trabajando con algún tipo de recurso federal, tiene que estar recurriendo a eso del salario prevalecente. Quiere decir que todos tienen que estar ganando cierta cantidad. Y puede haber entre las compañías, puede haber muchas veces que se equivocan en la paga, pero todas esas equivocaciones se tienen que recomendar. Entonces, todas las veces que si se equivocan o se pueden equivocar, se tienen que reemplazar los errores que se hayan hecho. Si alguna persona tiene una pregunta o cómo se están pagando eso, pueden venir acá con nosotros y les podemos explicar cuál es lo que se están pagando, qué es lo que tienen que estar recibiendo y cómo es que sale ese proceso para que le puedan pagar. Los salarios que están saliendo de aquí, toda la general sabe cuánto está ganando por persona y cuánto tiene que estar ganando. Entonces, no puede haber motivo de que te estén robando tu dinero ni nada de eso. Entonces, siempre es todo certificado. Si alguien tiene alguna pregunta por cualquier motivo, nosotros podemos resolverle las preguntas. Puede ser ya en una junta grande o puede ser individual. Si quieren venir, pueden hacerlo con toda confianza.
Okay, so that's all we got for today. I just want to let y'all know, though, real quick, y'all have my commitment that we want to make this a safe, efficient project that you guys want to come to. I assure you, that we're doing things that are changing the industry out here. I assure you we're doing things, y'all are doing things that are going to make this whole industry better when this job finishes. And when I hear things and we get some animosity of questions on whether people are being paid right, it really does bother me. And I promise you, for 2 weeks I've been trying to have this meeting, and I want everybody in here to know you can personally come into my office and I will try to work with any problem you're having, especially with pay, or you feel like something's not being treated fair, or something we could even do better. We work hard every day to make sure that happens, and I hope you guys recognize that. I need y'all's commitment to make sure we can do that, and we keep a positive attitude to continue this project headed in that direction, and we'll end up there. Because it's important that this project sets a new standard for how we do construction, not only in Charleston, but really in the whole industry. And we're counting on y'all to get us there. So y'all have my commitment, I just need y'all. So I appreciate all y'all are doing, and let me get the, looks like, what do we have today? A hat?
Yes, sir.
We've got a hat to give away for Isaac Schmidt. Isaac? See him? Okay, guys, thank y'all very much. Y'all have a safe week. Appreciate everything y'all are doing.